Hello and welcome to your West Ham Transfer Rumour Show, where we have 1.5 rumours and a few outs. It's mainly outs this show. In the last few shows, it's been mainly ins, but tonight we've got confirmed outs and a rumoured out, a rumoured in, and a likely to be in. Where would you like to start, Gonzo? Would you like the rumoured in?
Yeah, why not? Crack on, mate.
This is one we're probably going to dismiss pretty quickly. But Shaqiri, Liverpool Shaqiri, for £22.5 million. I'm dismissing this one already, to be honest with you.
A talented player, a good player. Having said that, had a massive sulk on the last season at Stoke when they went down, signed for Liverpool, didn't he? Having said that, I think he was still their top scorer, but he was not. He was a player that was attracting a lot of criticism because of his attitude. He's skillful. He plays wide, but aside from that, actually his skill set is the low centre of gravity and all the rest of it. He actually shares some attributes with players that we already have at the club. I wouldn't say there's a million miles difference between him, Jack Wilshere, Lanzini, maybe not Anderson because Anderson's quicker, but Anderson's still right-footed. So, yeah, a funny one really. Not out and out quick enough to be a winger, I would suggest. So what's he going to do? Play him in the middle? We seem to be all right there for tricky little wizards, so to speak. So no, certainly not for 22 million.
Well, he's a sort of a right winger, isn't he? That likes to cut in and stuff. But that's exactly what we don't need. We've got Antonio that can do the down the wing. We've got Yarmolenko that can do the cutting in and stuff. So we're covered for the right wing position. I don't see any truth in this rumor whatsoever. I'd be shocked if it had any ounce of truth. He's a good player. It's just not worked out for him at Liverpool. But then again, they are the second best team in the league. He's had a fair share of minutes. I thought he's done okay, actually. Whenever I've seen him, I thought he's done okay. Liverpool fans don't seem too bothered by him if he stays or goes. They've also got Harry Wilson coming back from Derby now, who's sort of a similar ilk to Shaqiri, similar position and stuff. So I guess one of them is probably leaving, although Wilson is sort of rumoured to be the one that is going out the door for 25 million as well. I mean, that's a lot of money for a guy that's had a decent season in the Championship. But yeah, I don't see any truth in this one. But moving on to the rumoured out, and that is Fernandez. He was also a loan at Fiorentina. They didn't want him. He's been linked with a move to Germany for about 8 million. Would you be disappointed to see this one go through, or does it make sense in your mind?
No, it makes sense. We were looking to generate funds, and this was his season to go out. He's had a whole season behind him, and he got 2 goals and 2 assists. So if that was his opportunity to prove himself, he's not really done so. It looks like maybe he's just going to be a steady Eddie rather than someone that is the attacking midfielder that we hoped he would be, who's really going to threaten defences. I think it's clear that that's not going to be the case. So with that in mind, he's probably not going to be a world beater. And I think if those funds, bearing in mind we've only got 30 million plus what we generate, I think 8 million added to Obiang, added to Reece Oxford, I think your 8 millions do start to add up really. So I'm happy enough to get rid of him.
I think the club made a mistake with him literally a year ago. I think last season was where he could have been given a chance at West Ham United. There was enough injuries, etc., where he would have got game time in various positions, a bit like Snodgrass has had. Snodgrass has played in various places of the team. And I think Fernandez would have had a bit part role. He's not been given a chance at West Ham, I don't think he's had a fair crack. Under Moyes, he was playing right wing back, then he was playing right wing, then centre mid, and you thought, crikey, how's this guy meant to settle down and stuff? But given that amount of players we've now got back, etc., I'm not sure we're going to be able to give him a chance next season. Certainly not the chance he's hoping for. But for a player his age, he's got a lot of sort of like senior club appearances under his belt. He's a Swiss international, etc. So he's got a lot going for him. I think he'll be a good player. 8 million. What's that?
Well, I just look at it. I think if he wasn't ours, and I was to say to you, we're being linked with this guy. He's in Italy. He's attacking midfielder, and he's got 2 goals and 2 assists last season. Played all season for Fiorentina. You'd say I don't think I'll bother. So and we look at him differently because he's ours. If we were looking to bring him in from fresh, I don't think he's a player we'd particularly fancy.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing as an attacking midfielder for Fiorentina. I thought he was playing sort of in the deeper centre midfielder role. And while he doesn't have many goals or assists, I think it's pretty much the same as Andre Gomez of Everton, who Now, I know there's a difference in ability, but if you're going to bring up the stats of goals and assists to use, then I'll bring up Andre Gomez's stats and goals, etc. I think 8 million, I guess, is a fair fee for what we've seen and what we've got. Like you said, it all adds up, doesn't it? Him and Obiang go out, and then all of a sudden you can get Delphin. You lose one squad player from last season, you bring in a squad player for next season, sorted. One of those players didn't get a chance. Quite a few players have been confirmed that they're being released by West Ham United today. They've obviously submitted their retain and release list to the Premier League, as they do every year, as every club's required to do. And on the release part was Adrian, Andy Carroll, and Nasri. Now, there's another couple of players as well, but they're the three senior players. Over 200 grand a week, Gonzo, wiped off the wage bill just like that. Was that three decisions you agree with?
Yes, but one with a hint of regret, which is Adrian. I think was a bit of a cult hero for West Ham. I think we let him go with good grace, I think, because he deserves to be playing first team football. He's done nothing wrong at West Ham. I think he brought into the culture of the club. You have a real opportunity as a goalkeeper to make a relationship with the fans, and he always did that. I thought whenever we were sat behind the goal, he would always interact with the fans and interact with them really, really well. And I liked him. I like him a lot. So, I wish him all the best. Good luck. That was a successful signing for us, really, because we got him on a free. We had lots of service out of him, and he leaves on a free. So, good luck to him. You'd have to say the other two didn't really work out. Obviously, one of them, Nasri, low risk, because again, we didn't pay any money. We just paid him some wages. He played 3.5 decent games. Carroll was an unmitigated disaster, really, when you look at all the wages paid out, the amount of money. He was a record signing at the time as well, and by some considerable amount. And the fact that he was injured when we bought him, and that was even though we'd had a season to look at him on loan. You look at the amount of games he's played and the money he's taken out of the club, it's been horrendous, really, to be honest with you. But he's provided some good moments.
I don't think Carroll was a disaster. I don't think it's value for money. I don't think he's been worth his wages, etc. But like you said, he's given us good moments. I think he's been crucial at times over the last 3 or 4 seasons when it's come to staying up. He only plays a big part role of the season, but it's a big part in terms of what he delivers on the pitch. I still remember that. I keep saying it to you, the first year at London Stadium, I still think we would have been banging trouble. He came back and he went in that little goal-scoring run where he had the goal against Palace, Borough away, scored a couple, he scored against Swansea. Those goals were crucial, I think. Then was under David Moyes, was at the West Brom game where it was really do or die a little bit, and we were really struggling through Carroll on, and bang, he got the 2 goals late on, the equaliser and the winner. And he scored some big goals for West Ham, but it's the right decision to let him leave. Even this season when he's come back, he's just not looked good. Even when he's been fit this season, he's just not had what he used to have, that threat, etc. You used to see him on the team sheet. When he used to be fit again, after a while, you'd be buzzing for Andy Carroll back. We'd do these previews and say, Carroll's fit again. I think, well, we've got to start him. He's our best striker. He's our only striker on some occasions. Get him in, get a ball in the box, and we'll get a goal out of him. We couldn't say that this season. This season, it was like, oh, no, I don't even put him on the bench if you must, but that's it. Don't put him in. He doesn't look good. So I think Carroll, he's not provided good value for money, but I think we've had a lot bigger disasters than Andy Carroll at this football club. When you look at the pound notes, you look at Dyer, Bloomberg, Arbeloa, these guys have come in and taken millions out of the club for not even doing anything. At least Carroll's provided something. I always felt he gave 100% when he was fully fit, etc. I think he's someone that's had a hard time. He's at the club. Everything that went wrong was sort of Carroll's fault a bit. Same with Noble. Noble is one of those players as well. Just one of them. Didn't quite work out. And I think in 5 years, 6 years' time, he'll be one of those players, just in football in general, say, I wonder what if, Carroll didn't have all these injuries. How good could he have been? Because I think, he had that season at Upton Park, and then he was in the England team scoring for England as well. And you think, he had a decent bit about him. He was just completely injury riddled.
His best season was still at Newcastle, and he was injured since then. No, and I think he's never got back to that. And he did look absolutely fantastic. Remember when he first signed for Liverpool, I think he scored a brace against Man City, and you thought, because they signed Suarez at the same time, of course. You thought, they have got a player here, but yeah, just absolutely decimated decimated by injuries. Really, really have been, and just huge money for West Ham. I don't know how much we paid him in wages. I don't know. I'm sure the figures are out there now. It was a 17 million pound transfer fee. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole lot cost us 50, 60 million in terms of a deal. So, and I take what you're saying. That he did provide moments whereby he saved us, but I also do feel had we have got it right for this 50, 60 million pound outlay, we possibly wouldn't have been in those positions anyway, because actually you just spend that money wisely, which West Ham don't spend that money wisely. Historically, we're really bad at spending money, but I do wonder, had we actually spent that money before and somebody had been fit all the time, then it might have been more of a trickle in terms of goal scoring. We might have had a steady 15 goals a season over those 6 years, and we'd be looking back now. I've got to do my maths now, haven't I? But we'd be looking at somebody who had scored, sort of 60 odd goals for us, and 60, 70 goals. And
yeah, but if you look at the strikers we signed under these owners, how long they've been here? 9 years.
Awful.
So if you look at how long they've been here, and you look at the strikers we signed, Carroll's probably the most successful one.
It's bad, isn't it?
You look at it, Zaza on loan, for example, was meant to be the marquee signing. Then you've got the likes of Caleri and all this other people that we've been bringing in as strikers, etc. Jelavic, Emenike. Diafasako was successful, of course, for his value and stuff, but he was successful for a short period of time, and then all of a sudden he went a bit nuts and off the radar he went. So they've been here 9 years and they provided like one decent striker. Our best goal scorers that they've signed weren't even strikers. Natovic, Antonio,
Nolan.
So they're not even strikers. The ones they've signed. There's someone in the live chat saying Enner Valencia. There's another guy, 14 million or whatever, we forked out for him.
The only player I've ever seen run past the football. I mean, he was trying to get it. He was trying to take it with him. Ran past the football. Oh, so there's someone that lived off a goal that he scored against Hull. Mikey, the worst technique. I literally do have better technique than a Valencia. But there we go. Yeah, you're right. Oh, nostalgic, happy days looking at West Ham's successful striker signings under the Gold and Sully era. Oh, nostalgic stuff.
If we could play Swansea every week, Andy Carroll would have finished top goal scorer in the Premier League. That's a fact. Nasri, it was like you said, it was low risk. Thank you for the 2 games you played, Cheerio, and Adrian, cult hero. But I tell you what, someone we will talk about in a second. I wonder if it's maybe a mistake letting Adrian go. We've got someone that loves the club, someone that gets the club, someone that obviously gets on with, you assume he gets on with the players. We've got quite a large Spanish sort of running through the squad, etc. So you imagine he's quite happy, relaxed, etc. And I do wonder, we're making a mistake not just offering him an extra little bit of cash in here. This is to sort of compensate for your lack of first team football. Okay, you won't get your first team, but you'll get a bit of money instead. Would he have taken it? Maybe not. Maybe we did try that. And he said, no, I don't want it. I'm off. I want first team football. Fair play to him. But he might have done. 2 other players on note that's leaving is McCassie and Tony Martinez. McCassie, as you know, is about 23 years old now. Yeah. He's sort of always been in the squad to keep the homegrown numbers up a little bit. But they've decided that they don't need him. And then Tony Martinez, well, that's one player that we all had high hopes for. But just one of them, and you take a punt, don't work out, and at the end of the road.
No, but I mean, it was a punt as well. I think we paid a couple of million, maybe 2.5 million for him, something like that. And he's got good technical finishing. He does finish well, and he's got good movement to get into positions. But he lacked that. He didn't have a trick, and he wasn't quite fast enough. And unfortunately not quite big and strong enough to be a target man either. So he sort of fell in between the margins of what you might be as a player, and certainly not someone that's going to run and start dribbling past loads of players either. So, yeah, a bit unlucky really. But hey, we had a go, as you say.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised by this. I try not to get too carried away with under 23s because I don't watch enough of it. But I know someone that goes quite a lot. And I remember him telling me about Martinez enough. He misses too many chances. He said even under 23s, he was missing far too much chances. And he said if ever there was a first team coach there or whatever, they wouldn't have been impressed by it. And if he scored a hat trick or a brace or whatever, you can put your money on it. One was a penalty. That's what he always used to say. And it's turned out to be correct, I guess. But the last one we're going to talk about is it's looking more and more likely that we're going to be bringing in David Martin, the Millwall keeper, to replace Adrian. we weren't too enthusiastic about it last week. Is your enthusiasm risen any further, or are you still a little bit, do we have to?
No, my enthusiasm is exactly the same. My opinion is exactly the same, as I think that we've brought in somebody. It's probably a lesser standard than the reserve keeper we currently have, and Nathan Trott, who's of course going off to the Toulon tournament this summer. That being said, it's done now, and I would not want any player to. Well, we know some people sometimes watch these videos and want anyone to click on and not feel welcome. So it's done. I'll welcome him. I hope he's at least he will understand West Ham because of his dad. There's no doubt about that. His dad was an absolute legend. So there you go. You know, he's in. Welcome to West Ham. Hopefully, if I'm being truthful, Fabianski stays uninjured all season. But what I don't want to see is the dovetailing with the cup. Fabianski, sorry, did I say Adrian? Fabianski plays all season, including the cups, and young David stays there as a backup in case of emergencies. If it's more than a game or two emergency, then I would like to think that they bring Trott back from wherever he is, and Trott goes in if it's an extended run. But you need a goalkeeper on the bench. He's coming to do the job. Welcome, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hands up, I've not seen much of him. Okay, I haven't seen loads of him. I'm just going by sort of his reputation, if you like, which is an average Championship goalkeeper. There's a few positives here. I'd imagine he's on less wages than Adrian. I think Adrian was getting paid the first team Premier League goalkeeper's wages a couple of years ago. It was first team Premier League, but it's still more than what he would have been on in Championship. He's homegrown, so he ticks that box. It means we're now allowed to able to keep the squad the same and bring in a player that's not homegrown, if you like, and without altering figures. And I actually think the Cups is a good point, because when Pellegrini came in, he had to basically say to Adrian, I know you're number one, but you're not going to be number one anymore. But it was almost like but I'll play in the Cups. Okay, this is a little carrot for you. He doesn't have to do that with David Martin. He can sit him down and say, look, mate, he's playing every single game. As simple as that. You're just going to be on the bench and you'll get played as and when. He doesn't have to offer him the Cups as sort of like a compromise or anything like that. He doesn't have to do that. There's no obligation. And I wonder if Pellegrini felt that with Adrian, that he had to play him just to keep him happy. He doesn't have to do that. If he sorts this out from day one, you imagine.
Actually, and out of that, is Czech playing tonight? You know, so I know I digress.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, he's doing it. Even Emery's doing it. I think it was a great point. You feel inclined to be a bit sentimental. I think you're absolutely right. Great point. He can be ruthless now. Yeah,
you bring your new guy in, you sit him down from day one. You say to him, look, there's no such thing as a cup goalkeeper anymore. If anything, you can use the Wimbledon game to his advantage. You say, I tried it at Wimbledon. It backfired, blew up in my face. All the fans were unhappy. You know, Watford got to the FA Cup final. So, unfortunately, you're going to be number two. However, if something does happen to Fabianski, you're the goalkeeper for every single game. But here's a nice big contract in front of your face, more money than you've earned in your life. You're 33 years of age. Someone did tell us, though, after we did the last video, someone commented that apparently David Martin is quite known around football clubs, if you like, for the work he does with youngsters. Apparently, he's quite good with the youngsters. Now, that's true. This is quite a savvy move to an extent. If you're getting someone in that's looking at retiring in a couple of years, that already does work with the kids and stuff, and then, like you said, you've got Trott there, etc. So that could be something. I don't know. But anyway, is there any more transfer rumours that you've seen or heard of that you'd like to quickly discuss?
I don't think so. No, I don't know anything else, mate. Anything else?
No, me neither. Anyway, that'll be our last video on this channel. We might do one on the forum channel tomorrow night. You'll have to subscribe and find out. But until Friday night, we'll be going live 5 p.m. Myself, Gonzo, Charlie, and Young Tom will be going live at 5 p.m. on Friday for 24 hours. Loads of guests coming over to join us throughout. Lots of stuff lined up. The link is in the description if you wish to donate. £5 per raffle ticket, loads of prizes, etc., etc. You're best to go onto the forum, hammerchat.com. There's a thread there about it. It's got all the raffle prizes, etc. So go on there to find out. We're almost on £900, Gonzo. Almost raised £900 for Isla.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal, mate. Really good effort from everybody. So thank you very, very much. And we will be pumping you for more money during the 24 hours. Well, you know, you've got to offer a service, Jay. If you're asking people for money, you've got to offer a service.
Indeed. Right. Anyway, Gonzo will be doing the pumping. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll see you on Friday night. Thank you.